Hello, I'm Stevie Morgan and welcome to Lock and Load, the show that brings you computer game warfare at its very highest level. Today we'll be previewing the upcoming televised championship that's exclusive to the show. But first, allow me to introduce our resident games guru, Paul Wedgwood, otherwise known as Lockie. Lockie, tell us a little bit about the online tournament we know as Quake 3 Arena.
Well, you know, online gaming is basically the biggest thing to hit the internet. It's absolutely huge. And first-person shooters, where you're immersed in a 3D game, is one of the biggest genres that people play. And of course, the key attraction is that you're fighting a real person, not an AI character.
I see what you mean. We fuse the high-tech world of video gaming with the furious competition of the sports field. It's binary ballistics, it's computer carnage, it's WWF on your PC. What am I talking about? Well, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, and I've had enough of talking.
Welcome to The Last Post, an arena designed by us where virtual warriors from all over the world will battle for supremacy. This horseshoe-shaped map has bases at either end, a large central area where the majority of action takes place, and a perilous death jump linking the two. Today's game of choice is Capture the Flag, battled out by two teams, one blue and one red. Each team has 4 players who guard their own flag while trying to steal the opposing team's flag and returning it to their own base. 1 point or cap is awarded for each successful completed journey. The team with the most caps at the end of the match is the winner. Sounds simple, but unfortunately, we have carelessly left some huge guns lying around on the arena floor. There are 2 main routes to the bases, the most popular being the midfield corridor. But for those daring types, there is a shortcut appropriately called the death jump. Anything short of absolute precision will mean instant termination. Death, however, is temporary, as the player is respawned into the match moments later. At the start of play, or whenever they are respawned, each player needs to acquire weapons, ammunition, and armor to survive and boost their personal arsenal. Initially, a player is equipped with the gauntlet and machine gun, but can increase their firepower by adding the plasma gun, rocket launcher, and the shotgun. The power of these weapons can be quadrupled if you are in possession of the quad damage. Not easily accessible, but get it wrong, and it's time to meet your maker. Additional armor will slow down your inevitable demise, ranging in strength from red to yellow to the smaller gray shards. In addition, you can boost your health by acquiring these large glowing crosses. Cry havoc and let loose the dogs of war! It's frag time!
Okay, Lockie, now we know a bit about the game. Tell us something about the clans.
Well, you know, a clan is basically a team. It's just a group of people across the internet who want to play as a team competitively against other teams. The key being that you get to beat whole groups of other people rather than just individuals. But of course, the tough thing is that you have to play somewhere near each other because of ping and latency. You need to allow them to have
Hold on. This is all getting very complicated right now. So for all you non-gamers, I've compiled 10 easy steps for getting into the Quake scene. So, you want to be part of the Quake fun, do you? Okay then, step 1. You will need a PC or a Mac, and make sure it's connected to the internet. Step 2. You will need to buy and install the Quake 3 Team Arena game on your chosen computer. Check that your computer meets the system requirements. Most modern computers should support Quake. Step 3. Hold on, you're not there yet. You will need to download the latest update for the game. Surf the internet. There are many Quake sites that you will be able to do this from. Step 4. Now connect to a server on the internet. specially designed to host Quake tournaments. Step 5. For Capture the Flag, you will need to have 3 like-minded comrades in arms to join you online. You are now a clan, so have a ferocious name in mind. Step 6. Now place your preferred hand on the mouse. By pressing the left click, you will be able to fire your weapons. Step 7. Place your other hand on the keyboard. You can choose your own configuration, but I like to have my fingers on the WADS keys. Alternatively, you can use the cursor keys to move around the map. You are now ready to rumble in the arena. Step 8. You are now free to engage the enemy. Try to capture their flag and return it to your base. Step 9. For further advice, watch out for our Quake Capture the Flag tips and cheats. I said for further advice, oh, suit yourself. Oh, and finally, Step 10. Make sure you have an endless supply of pizza handy for those long, long Quake nights spent playing online. With a license to frag and caps galore, this really is life in the fast lane. Now you've got your computer set up and you've got 4 friends to play with. Why not enter a league? SuperCap 3 is now fully subscribed, but if you'd like to enter and you think you've got what it takes, why not email us your clan details and you may be eligible for any future competitions. Our address is lockandload@gamer.tv. Meanwhile, let's look back at some of the successes and failures of our previous competitions, SuperCap and SuperCap 2.
The first Super Cap contest was a hotbed of action. In a pulsating and bruising encounter, the final came down to a head-to-head between Elite Alliance in red, who had conceded only 1 cap throughout the tournament, and Dark Preachers in blue. Could EA fulfill their destiny? Would DP score against the meanest defense in the league? Elite Alliance strode the map like gods, scoring 5 glorious caps, while Dark Preachers simply crumbled, failing to even cap. Super Cap 1 champs, Elite Alliance! Super Cap 2 proved meaner, faster, and tougher. The final proved controversial, with International Quake Squad in blue and New European Order in red, both looking for the title. Neo needed to win by 2 clear caps to win Super Cap 2, and came out with all guns blazing, taking an early lead thanks to star player Blokey. But then disaster struck as they lost Ranger to connection problems. With Neo down to 3 men, IQS took advantage and scored in the second half to make the final score a draw at 1-1, which was all IQS needed. An angry Neo demanded a rematch, but IQS simply cried, "Who's the daddy?" Super Cap 2 champs, International Quake Squad.
Well, you've just seen him in action in SuperCap 1 and SuperCap 2 playing up front for Clan Neo. We caught up with one of the biggest hitters in the Quake CTF arena, Great Britain's Blokey.
They are a man down, but that does not dismay Blokey.
Hi, my name's Chris Hoare, and I'm also known as Blokey from Clan Neo. The secret to playing a good match on the last post is definitely about controlling the central area. There's 2 really important items there. The red armour, which increases the amount of damage you can receive, and the quad damage, which increases the amount of damage you can deliver. If you can synchronise the 2, pick up both almost at the same time, then you get a player with incredible offensive capabilities. You can almost always cap off that. I think there's 3 main clans contesting for the title this season. Neo, ourselves, IQS, who are strong from last season, and Tortured Souls, who play a sort of defensive game that catches a lot of clans out.
Now, some of the clans that we'll see in action over the next few weeks are really the best that Europe has to offer. Is that not so, Lockie?
Well, you know, SuperCap 1, we were looking at certainly 8 of the top clans in Europe competing, same for SuperCap 2, but SuperCap 3 is doubled in size. We know from, we've just seen Blokey's on top form, his accuracy is perfect, New European Order is set to do really, really well, but they've got some tough competition ahead.
Okay, so why don't we now, Lockie, take a look at some of those clans that will be battling it out for supremacy in the last post.
The games are broken down into 4 groups with 4 teams in each. Group A looks like this. Pure Quality played under the name Greater Than You in Super Cap 2. The team is made up of many former Elite Alliance players following a bust-up. Super Cap 1 champs Elite Alliance are also in this group, so look forward to a fiery match between them and PQ. Clan Inferno are new to the league. Will they crash and burn? Only time will tell. Super Cap 2 champions International Quake Squad must be the favorite for this group. This team could go all the way again. Group B is a mixed bag of old and new. The astonishingly monikered Prince of the Zorgon's World are putting in their first appearance in Super Cap, as are the well-fancied Gunzoids with their star players, Sid. Omega are a renamed and hopefully revamped Clan Dominion, who had a poor showing in Super Caps 1 and 2. Group B is finished off by one of the tournament favorites, Clan New European Order. Group C sees the return of Thievery Corporation, who played under the name of Under the Influence in the first 2 Super Caps, finishing mid-table on both occasions. Super Cap 1 runners-up Dark Preachers will try to make a stand following an absence from Super Cap 2. They'll be facing 2 Super Cap newbies, Tortured Souls and Vanished Souls. Finally, Group D has Super Cap 1 and 2 veterans Clan Envy, hoping it'll be third time lucky. Bring It On are hoping to regroup after crashing out of Super Cap 2. Expedient Demise are one of the most experienced clans in the league, but didn't fare too well in our first 2 tournaments. Finally, we have Dutch team Murderers in action. New to Super Cap, these guys have had some excellent results in other leagues, so they could be a good outside bet.
Now, all these chaps are fairly dedicated players. They're aware of the dangers and pitfalls that await them on the arena's floor. But what about you newbies? You part-time fraggers? Well, I've invited a very special friend along to give you some guidance in a section of the show which will, from this moment forth, be known as Grim Tips.
Quake tips to avoid an early grave. There are a variety of weapons to be found throughout the last post, located in different areas. You will begin with a machine gun, but you will need to pick up a better weapon if you are to outgun the opposition. The machine gun will deliver a spray of lead, but with little power. And if you run out of ammunition with this, you will be left with the gauntlet. A saw blade with a powerful electric charge. It's hardly the weapon of choice. The shotgun delivers a vast burst of lead over a wide range. And the plasma gun delivers powerful plasma pulses, capable of causing an obscene amount of damage over a long range. And the rocket launcher, with pinpoint accuracy and blast effect. It really is the daddy.
Well, that's it for the first half, but we'll be back in a few short moments where we enter the world, Lockie, of pro gaming. We also have a chat with Todd Hollingshead, the CEO of the company that created Quake, id Software. You owe that man your life, Lockie, and your livelihood. You wouldn't be working if it wasn't for him. enough to shovel your joystick. Hello and welcome back to Lock and Load. If you missed the first half, I'm Stevie, this is Lockie, and together we're going to unravel the mysteries surrounding the massively popular game that we know as Quake. Now Lockie, how long have you been playing Quake?
Gosh, you know, it must be 7 years.
And do you play on PC or console?
Oh no, it has to be PC. You know, you can get first-person shooters for the console, and you can play on the joypad thing, but I can't imagine you'd do very well. You really need the keyboard and the mouse and a very fast PC.
Okay, now before we go any further in our explanation of id Software's Quake 3 Arena, we thought that you may like to know about some other games that use Quake's engine. So we caught up with id CEO Todd Hollingshead at their QuakeCon event in Dallas, Texas.
Probably, one of the more exciting announcements for the attendees at QuakeCon is the announcement of Quake 4. We're going to be working with Raven Software on the development of that. That is going to be using the Doom 3 technology, or the next Doom engine, the new engine that we're working on. With respect to the evolution of the Quake 3 Arena engine, we continue to work on development of it on a first-party basis in terms of our programmers at id working to continue to advance it and to make sure that it looks really the best rendering engine available. Now, with respect to Soldier of Fortune 2 and Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, the guys at Raven have really taken what we've done and then they've incorporated even their own modifications and advancements on top of that.
That's one way to do it.
We do continue to develop on the Quake 3 Arena engine first party. You see that with Team Arena, and you'll see that with Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Typically, it's a one-way flow of technology from id to licensees or to our partners. But anything that we're involved in on a first-hand basis, any partner of ours from a technology standpoint would have the option to be able to pick that stuff in whatever title they're developing. Nerve working on multiplayer and Raven working on a single-player extension of the Quake 2 universe. The games that we're working on that we've announced, and we really believe that these are forward-looking games, although they do share a universe with previous games and have a great game legacy. The amateur development community is really important to id, and we spend a significant amount of time and actually make some design decisions based on whether the amateur development community will be able to find this or that feature useful, or whether it can be an obstacle for them to be able to do what we think that they ought to be able to do, given the tools and the code that we released to them. The next generation consoles are really exciting from a technology standpoint. We really see ourselves focusing on the PC development in the future, and to the extent that we have console opportunities, we'll try to take advantage of those. To the extent that handheld is a new and emerging market, and there is one thing that we put a significant amount of effort on, which is Doom for the Game Boy Advance, which is really Doom in all its glory, two-player co-op, up to four-player deathmatch, and it's just, this big.
Now, if you hadn't already guessed it, Quake is a popular and very, very addictive game. And you know what else? Some people can even make a living out of it, with top players such as Fatality and Zero4 raking in over $100,000 a year. But to earn the big, big bucks, you've got to be quality. Now for you, Lockie, what makes a pro gamer?
Practice.
Well, Gamer.tv attempted to track a few down at a huge gaming event just outside London. Now, at these events, known as LAN parties, gamers connect their PCs through a local area network, a LAN, if you will, and they compete for glory and prizes.
To be a pro gamer, for number one, you're going to have to be pretty good. But you need natural talent to do it. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination, especially in the first-person games like Quake, Counter-Strike. Although Counter-Strike has more of an element of team play as well.
My name is Chris Hoare and I play under the alias of Blokey. I play for Clan Unreal, the Quake 3 clan.
My name's Jonathan Nefkin. I'm called the Genius online. I play for Clan 4 Kings. I'm 20 years old and we're playing semi-professionally at the moment.
My name's Sujoy Roy. I'm a pro gamer. I've been playing games professionally for over a year now.
To get sponsorship, the first thing I'd imagine for most gamers is they get their break. So it's getting a name for yourself, getting recognised. Obviously the companies like hardware companies, software companies are very keen to put money behind gamers.
At the moment I'm working through a company, Kazoo, who are PR, and hopefully they'll help me and they'll reach out to other companies who might be interested in sponsoring a pro gamer.
I think, like a lot of other people, I've played games for fun, like all my life basically, and I love the games, I love to play. And I was in America playing in some big tournaments there, and I mean, I was approached by the sponsors who basically offered me money because I was doing it well.
CPL is the big one in America. I mean, that's Cyber Athletes Professional League it stands for. They're holding regular like big money tournaments, like 100,000 prize pot. The gamers are earning enough from these events now to go professional.
Once the CPL decides on a game that they're definitely going to use and everyone agrees that it's a good platform for pro gaming, I think it will really kick off.
I gave up my career in the bank. Obviously giving that up, I had to think there was a future in this industry. And I still think there is, and it's on the up. Everyone plays games.
Definitely being recognised by a lot more companies now as something that is the future.
In a one-on-one game, you could probably earn up to £250,000 a year prize money, and sponsorship probably, well, it's limitless, but I would say realistically another £500,000. Few countries have different advantages. The Swedish and the Finns have the best internet connections in the world, which helps a lot as you have a faster ping rate to the servers when you play. The UK is quite a way off. I'd say Sweden and Germany are equal.
We've got Sujoy, who's the first pro gamer, so that's quite good. Apart from that, we are trailing, yeah.
Korea is actually probably the furthest ahead in terms of gaming and turning it into a sport, because they have the celebrities, they have it on TV all the time, and people tune in to watch computer games.
As for the world number one, I'd have to say Fatality. He's certainly leading it in terms of the amount of money he's made. Well over $100,000 is what he's admitted to, but obviously that could be a lot more in terms of sponsorship. But he's not well ahead of the field. He's come close in some of his recent matches, and I certainly think guys like Blokey and Sujoy certainly will have a bit of a stake to play in the futures.
In the next 5 years, I'll still be playing, I'll still be trying to be the best, of course. The pro gaming scene will have grown, will be like a sport, it'll be on TV every single day. In terms of groupies, no, haven't got any screaming girls coming yet.
We get a few fans and things at LAN events who come up and say hello, and they like to see how you play and pick up tips. No screaming girls yet, but that's one of the perks we hope will come in the future.
I think you have to go out and make your own money as well. That's one of the skills you have to learn to become professional. And there is money to be made, it's just very hard right now.
Lock and Load, we're able to bring you closer to the action than anybody else, with different camera angles and in-depth commentary. But how do we get those cool angles, you may well be wondering? Well, Locky has devised an item of software that does the work for us. Locky, how does it work?
Well, basically what our team did was to sit down and look at the way that online games work at the moment. And the premise of this is that when you play an online game, all you see is the perspective of the player in question. You don't see anything else that's going on, you don't get eagle-eyed views, establishing shots, you don't get to do a rail cam running along when the guy's running off with a flag. And what we wanted was to bring all of that to television. And so what we did is created an omnipresent view of everything that took place on the server. And by doing this, we could then have an arbitrary rule set, which just says, let's follow the guy who's fragging most. But if the flag starts moving, let's follow the flag. We could then go to an establishing shot, we could go to rail cameras, and every time something cool happens on the server, we're there and we see it happening. There's no risk that we're going to miss a flag getting taken, because no matter what happens on the server, our system kicks in and picks up on everything.
Quake tips to avoid an early grave. You must keep moving, slug. Keep running like the taps in my crypt. If you stand still, you'll end up gibbed on the walls of the last post. Go ahead, get fragged. Make my day.
Well, the sky is beginning to brood and we should soon be abed. But hopefully now you know what we're up to here on Lock and Load. Tune in next time when we'll be kicking off our Super Cup 3 season with highlights from Group A. Should be exciting stuff, Lockie.
I am looking forward to some fast, frantic fragging action.
I bet you are, you plasma-drunk young gamer. Until next time, it's ta-ta!
Hey, this is Stevie Killcreek Case. When the boys finally get back from the cave, they'll be joining me here in the Lock and Load studios for match commentary, analysis, and exclusive insights into the Super Cup 3 League. So why not join us?